Hey everybody, Icy Cat here. Today I want to talk to you about an issue that's been plaguing Rainbow Six Siege since it first came out, and that's team killing. Lately it's been in a little bit more of a spotlight due to the topic coming up heavily in the online community. What's behind it? Why do people do it? Let's take a closer look at the issue of team killing next. As mentioned in the intro, team killing has been a bit of a problem ever since Rainbow Six first came out. Why this is coming to light a little bit more now is that it's been something that's highlighted in the online community for Rainbow Six recently. Somebody was playing a game of Siege and they got team killed. They asked the other person, dude, why'd you team kill me? And the other person replied with a message back saying, Rook mine. In other words, that guy had taken Rook. It was the operator that he wanted and he was mad about it, so he killed him to teach him a lesson or something. I don't know. So when this was put up, it kind of turned into a meme that just got recycled and had a lot of variations on it of this Rook mine kind of a thing. It spawned a lot of discussion in the forums, but also especially on the subreddit. Team killing is something that happens regardless of platform. Some PC players think that it's more prevalent on console. There could be a little bit of truth to that, but we do see it on all platforms. It's something that's more prevalent in casual versus ranked, because in ranked you do have your own personal rank that's being put on the line, which is a little bit of incentive to not screw with the team loss. The thing is, we're not talking about it when you're shooting down a hall and somebody strafes in front of your shot and gets killed. That was an accident. On the other hand, if you get the response of screw you, whatever, then you've got a whole different kind of player, and that's what we're kind of focusing on. When we run into this, we see it happen for a few reasons. And just like we were talking about with the Rook mine concept, one way that it often comes up is when a player takes an operator and then somebody else gets mad because we were supposed to be psychically aware that this other guy already has dibs on that player. I don't really understand the mindset behind this. It happens a lot more frequently when we have new operators come out. When Buck and Frost first came out, you'd see team killing. At least with that case, maybe somebody's hogging an operator and they're not sharing, so they might get team killed that way. But again, other people can send that player a message or ask them on the mic and say like, hey, you've been taking Buck a lot or the new operator Valkyrie a lot or whatever it might be, do you mind sharing? And most of the time people are going to be okay with that. They're going to be like, oh yeah, no problem. And for anybody that's really pissy about it and gives you a lot of attitude, well then I guess that's kind of a different thing. You see this team killing when somebody picks an operator that they want. And the thing is that there are now like a dozen operators to choose from on either side. So if you can only play with one operator and if anybody else takes them, you just lose your mind. You got to get over that. There's 11 other operators that you could pick from and you just got to deal with it. The community in this game is by and large cool enough that if you ask them, hey, you're taking Sledge every round, do you mind if I take them? That most of the time people will be like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Like, the vast majority of the time, somebody doesn't even realize that you might want the operator they're picking, and they're just picking somebody because that's just the one they roll with the most, but they might not care, and they might choose another operator, and it's not a big deal. They don't even know that you want to play as that operator. So for the most part, just ask somebody. Be cool about it. This is a team-based game. Work as a team. And even if they do pick what you were going to pick, that doesn't give you the right to just go ahead and start shooting people. Let's take a look at this clip here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We're playing, I start out with my friend, we go toward the house, and he immediately says behind me, like, what the hell, this guy just team killed me. So I turn around, and we were on a private chat, so I couldn't ask this guy over the mic what he was doing, but he said that he was teabagging him. So well, that's all I need to know right there, so I dropped the guy. And actually, as I shot him, my friend said, like, he could see the animation for his sledgehammer being pulled out, like he was just about to melee him in the face. So this was a very blatant example of somebody doing it on purpose and thinking it was funny, which was not cool. Of course, there's lots of other reasons why this kind of thing happens. Just people might have a bad day or they might have a bad situation going on and they're feeling pissed off and they play the game and they decide to take it out on the people around them. And that happens. These people are what I like to call jerks. When you run into those kinds of players, I would just say boot them out of the game, remove them from the match, vote to kick, and move on. It would be nice if Ubisoft gave us an option, in addition to report suspicious behavior, to report intentional team killing, so that if somebody got enough of these votes, maybe they would incur like a couple hour ban or maybe a day or two ban or something like that. Nothing permanent, but just to say like, hey, this kind of behavior isn't tolerated by the community. And if you're doing it on accident, from time to time, you probably won't accumulate enough of these things, but if you're just going around and ruining everybody's matches just for the sake of doing it, you're going to accumulate these flags. Another reason team killing can occur is you might have a player that's not performing up to par with the rest of the team. So if you have somebody that's maybe coming in and they're a low level, they're new to the game, they don't know what they're doing, sometimes people will just team kill that person to kind of be rid of the distraction on the team. But you guys, that's not a valid approach either. If you run into a player like that, if you absolutely cannot have that person on your team, then send him a message and ask him to leave. Or, worst comes to worst, just do a team vote to kick. But just don't go team killing just for no reason, because then the person doesn't even understand why you team kill them. If you send them a message and be like, you're using an operator you don't know how to use and that's making a problem for us, then at least the person knows. Or if you vote to kick, at least they've been removed from the match and it continues to not be a problem. But if you team kill that guy, he's not going to understand and he's just going to come back the next round. And what are you going to do? Team kill him again and then next round team kill him again? Just if the person is that much of a distraction for the team, just vote to kick, I guess. Although that's still not very welcoming behavior. Every one of us were new to the game at some point, and if we just got team kicked every time that we tried to be new to the game and figure out what was going on, that would be a pretty jerk thing for us to do as a community too. So let's try to find a balance there with having patience for those players. Yet another reason this happens is something of a myth that surrounds skill-based matchmaking. And the way this works is the idea is that if you are not as good of a player, you will probably not get paired up with players that are very skilled. And if you're a really good player, you should only be getting paired up with players that are on your level. But what people don't understand is that skill-based matchmaking is probably one of the last parts of matchmaking that occurs. So first we're matching on region, and then we're matching on connectivity, and there's other factors that go into it, not just your kill death ratio or your win loss ratio. Sure, that's part of the formula, but it is not the deciding factor. It's just one of many components that go into it. So if you're trying to team kill in order to influence skill-based matchmaking, you're not being as effective as you think you are in achieving that goal. Furthermore, if you just want to get some easy kills so you can go noob stomping or whatever, you're being toxic to the community in a different way. You are making it so that you can just make some very easy kills against people and feel good about yourself while just stomping on top of these newer players or lower skilled players. And that's just not a very cool thing to do either, because you have to remember, as fun as that might be for you to do, there are 5 other people on the receiving end of that. So if you've kind of scammed skill-based matchmaking to get yourself paired up with lower skilled players so that you can dominate them, okay, you had a couple of rounds of fun, but they didn't. You made a frustrating game experience for them because you're far more advanced than what they would normally be paired up against, and you've cheated the system. You've cheated it by pretending to be a worse player than you really are for some quick and easy kills, and you're not going to get much out of that because you're only going to be able to pull that off for a match or two before skill-based matchmaking goes, oh, this guy's doing really good, time to pair him back up with some other harder people. And again, since skill-based matchmaking isn't even a huge part of the matchmaking process, it's just one component of many, it's not even as influential of a thing as you might think it is. So if you're trying to rig this system, knock it off. It's not working, and it's not even a long-term solution. If you're bad, then good, then bad, then good, then bad, then good, that's going to average out. Here's what it all boils down to. You guys, we are playing a team-based game. We win as a team, we lose as a team. This isn't like Call of Duty free-for-all mode where you just can kill everybody else, and as long as you have the most kills, you win. It doesn't work like that. If you wipe out your team and then you wipe out everybody on the other team except for one person, your team still loses. You all lose as a group. It doesn't work. So you've got to stop doing that. You make it so that everybody else on your team doesn't get any renown or, experience or whatever it might be, and you're handing an easy victory to the other team by doing this. You actually ruin the fun for the other side too. It's not just your own team. I've had many examples where I will be playing a game and the other team during the preparation phase, as soon as we'll spend all that time setting up our defenses, the minute the action phase launches, they team kill each other and it's over. And we're like, wow, well, we just wasted that time setting up defense for no purpose. And, we could have had a fun match playing here, and now our fun is wrecked too. Even though it all happened on the other team, you've denied us a chance for a fun and fair game. And even if you don't kill the whole team on the other side, if it's 3-on-5, that's not very balanced. What if you're one of those 3 players now, you're like, oh, great, we might very well lose this match because we're down 2 people now. Or if you're on the other team, you're like, well, this is going to be an easy win. That's pretty lame. I mean, you're taking away from everybody's experience, and it's a selfish thing to do. And just don't do it, guys. For those of you out there that might entertain the possibility of doing team killing, that guy took my operator. I'm having a bad day. I'm just trying to get matched up with easier players. Whatever it might be, knock it off. You are being toxic to the Rainbow Six community. You are weakening the integrity of the game. You're making it a more frustrating experience for other people that you play with. Now, I realize me appealing to team killers may not do a whole lot of good. Team killers, by their nature, are somebody that is looking for instant gratification to fulfill an emotional need. They are mad about something. You pick their operator, or they're trying to cheat the system, or they're trying to just ruin other people's fun to make themselves feel better. These are all inherently very selfish motivations. So I'm already appealing to a group of people that may be doing things selfishly, and it might be hard to reach those people. But I just want to implore you to play the game as intended. There's no need to resort to being a toxic player at all. So what do we do as a community when we run into it? The first thing I would say would be to ask the person, hey, what was up with that? They'll be able to let you know right away whether that was something they didn't mean to do, whether it was an accident. They'll apologize for it. Again, show those players grace, give them some understanding. It happens. But if you're getting very belligerent replies, if you're getting people that don't care and they're just pissed off at you and angry, then you know what? There's a vote to kick option. Go ahead and use that. And if you have a player like that for the other people on the team, go ahead and jump in on that. If you have a toxic player on your team, get rid of them. Even if that only puts you down to 4-on-5, so what? Get rid of that toxic player. It's better than dealing with having a random amount of people team killed the beginning of every round. You just don't want to deal with that. And as I mentioned before, I would like to see Ubisoft implement something like in addition to the vote suspicious behavior, to also vote intentional team killing. If you get enough of those flags, it'll become obvious who's doing it intentionally and who's not. Even if you get voted for intentional team killing and it was an accident, you're probably not going to accumulate enough of those to incur like some kind of a couple hour or couple day ban penalty from Ubisoft, because they're going to see, oh, it only came up a couple of times. It probably wasn't as intentional as it sounds. But if you've got somebody that's going around just doing this all the time, that will be obvious and they will incur some kind of a ban or a penalty, something like that. So I would like to see a system like that put in. In the meantime, go ahead and be vocal on the subreddit, on the forums, on Ubisoft Facebook or Twitter. Let them know that this is a problem and something that maybe you'd like to see them do something about. Because I like the fact that you can have friendly fire. Casualties on your team when you're not being careful are something that real soldiers need to worry about, and I like that dynamic. But there are people out there that clearly abuse this ability, and it is a problem that ruins it for everybody else. So we do need to have some systems in play to deal with it. Maybe you guys even have some other ideas of ways that Ubisoft could deal with it, and you can share that with me down in the comments below, or also let Ubisoft know in the forums or subreddit. As always, please like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all the latest news and information from Rainbow Six Siege. You can also follow IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.